not going out of the track limits. In fact, getting very, very close and doing it millimetrically perfectly, perhaps less so than Benjamin Hites, who's following, was Cooper McNeil.
Benjamin just wanted to see what it would feel like to drive over the exit curbs at turn 20, perhaps.
Listening to us.
Not good is the answer.
Dave Musial and Kaminski then, the two cars that you can see in our picture now, that P5 and P6 position in the Trofeo Pirelli AM class, Ferrari of Long Island versus Ferrari Lake Forest. All those names sound so romantic and evocative. Don't
they just, though? Oh. Brian Kaminski, who is another one of those drivers with a very good coach in his ears. That would be Matt Plum, a guy who's won here and had a heartbreak here at Circuit of the Americas both, but will be trying to help his driver stave off the number 30, and he can't do it. Musial goes around the outside at 19 and stays within the track limits. Impressive move.
Oh
and then he spins.
Now that was you. Commentator's curse or what? You know, he'd done all the hard work, hadn't he?
Oh,
and
he
now,
did.
Oh.
I apologize, Dave. I won't compliment you anymore. I'm sorry. That was a beautiful pass around the outside of 19, though.
It was.
Just a little bit too much momentum carried through into 20. He was nowhere near the apex.
No.
Oh.
What a shame. Let's quickly look at this car.
That would be Brent Holden. Scuderia Cava represented there. And Brent Holden, another one of the drivers with the beautiful livery on the car, reminiscent of an old American fighter plane. Gotta see it up close and personal. It is fantastic.
Well, there is the car in all its glory then. Currently running in that P6 position in the Trofeo Pirelli AM class. I remind you once again, all the information you can find about the drivers, the cars, the series at races.ferrari.com. As the cars come downhill now in weather conditions that are somewhat nicer for the racing this afternoon than we had for qualifying earlier on, and certainly for that drive in to the circuit from our hotel this morning.
Yes.
Jim Wayland then, who will get my award for being absolutely unfazed by anyone attacking him from behind, is going to be disappointed that he's not on the podium, I'm sure, but he's been stoic in that P4 position. And here is our race leader then, Cooper McNeil, who with a 3.288 margin in that P1 position, it has to be said, hasn't looked at all threatened during the course of the race, right from the very start, knew exactly what he'd got to do. Has to be said, I mean, Cooper's a nice guy, 7'8" tall, massive guy. He does a lot of racing.
He does.
And, you know, Cooper McNeil is doing a very, very good job. He was, well, not surprisingly, he was fastest in qualifying once he'd done that. But it was interesting, that information that we got from Mike earlier on about the fact that this is effectively a spare car. It's not the real car. So Cooper is piloting it very well, it has to be said.
Yes, as he so often does, and he's got good coaching on his side. He's got Alessandro Balzan here this weekend.
It was nice to see Alessandro
Isn't
earlier.
It great to see him?
We had lunch almost with him. He was on the next table.
Yes, but he still was kind enough to say hi. And well, he says ciao. Yeah. He doesn't say hi. I love Alessandro. He's one of the real bright spots. He's got his co-drivers from the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship here this weekend as well. Jeff Westphal was here. Yeah. Jeff is coaching another driver in the series, though, as a matter of fact, Thomas Tipple, who we've been saying such nice things about. So slightly awkward if Thomas Tipple were to beat Cooper, but Cooper doesn't have to worry about the competition. He just needs to tear out the rear view mirror from the cockpit of his car, focus forward, and that's exactly what he's done today.
And he's done it with aplomb, hasn't he? He's not looked threatened at all. He's just nailed perfectly every lap. You know, when you look at, and if you were to make, and we were talking about whether Cooper McNeil was making a video earlier on in qualifying when he was very, very sideways for a lot of the lap. But if you're going to make a film about driving a perfect line in different conditions in terms of tyre degradation, then Cooper would have done a brilliant job for you. Right, he's got one more turn to do before he will see the checkered flag. Well, this is going to play into the hands of Benjamin Hites, or is it? It's going to be neck and neck. It's a photo finish, but Benjamin Hites has just done it from Cooper McNeil, who, for whatever reason, just seemed to lose it on the final turn.
I'm in complete awe. There's nothing to say about that. Cooper manhandled this race. He had one more turn to get around, turn 20, and the back end of the car just stepped out on him.
He didn't look out of shape going into the turn.
Oh my goodness. Well, Cooper McNeil's day went from being perfect to being a nightmare. That's exactly what you don't want to happen. That's dreaming about being on stage in front of 1,000 people and then realizing you forgot to put your clothes on that morning. Oof. Cooper McNeil will be mortified, and Benjamin Eathus will be thrilled to bits because this is his second win at Circuit of the Americas, and somebody else spun in the back.
Now, who was that? Who was that went round?
It was somebody a little bit further down in Trofeo Pirelli AM. It might have been Todd Marici. It was a bright red Ferrari. Has not yet seen the checkered flag. Would have had to have been Todd Marici, but no positions lost. But
extraordinary right in the closing stages of this race.
Very, very much so. I have to pull my jaw up off the ground and give credit. Congratulations also to Mark Fuller, the winner in the AND category.